Hello friends and welcome to Knowledge by Nature. In today's video, I am going to show you what resources I have picked up for teaching art in our second grade homeschool. If this is something that you're interested in, stick around. Alright, so before we get started, if this is your first time here, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. I am a homeschool mom to an almost second grader, and we love all things homeschool and sharing our journey with you. And if that is something that you're interested in, I would love if you hit that subscribe button, and if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. So art is something that we did very, very loosely for first grade. I didn't really have any sort of curriculum or plan, to be honest. We did a lot of drawing and coloring, things like that. But as far as like actually learning anything about art, we didn't do much last year. So I did want to pick up a few things because that's just one of the little things that I'm planning to loop for our second grade year. If you have not seen what we're using for our second grade year and you're interested in it, I will put that right here as well as down in the description below. That way you can easily see everything that we're doing for the subjects. All right, so the first thing that I picked up here is Evan Moore, How to Teach Art to Children. This kind of introduces like line, shape, color, value, texture, form, space, all of those sort of things that actually start teaching art. And Evan Moore is something that's new to me, but I have actually ended up picking up quite a few Evan Moore books for our second grade year. But I thought this would be a good one to kind of start off with. It is for grades 1 through 6, so this could really take care of art for like a lot of like a family subject if you wanted to, if it was something that you haven't really started. But we start with line, and it just kind of talks about different shapes of lines and how to make them. And I think this is just going to be a very gentle approach and one that we can just use at our discretion and just kind of go with the flow with it. I don't know that we will necessarily finish this book, but it is one that I think we could finish if we wanted to. And I do like that there's like little projects that you can do that don't seem too overwhelming. That way, if you're not a huge project person, these aren't really crazy. They're just very, very simple little projects. Like right here, we're doing shape rubbings for texture. It says that there's almost 100 projects in here, and it offers an example of each project, which I really appreciate because occasionally I will get a book that is showing like a project or how to do one, but it doesn't actually show me the project, and it's just nice to see it sometimes. So this is my first resource that I'm planning to use, and that is How to Teach Art to Children. Up next is a book. I think I got this one used actually. This is Wide-Eyed from the publisher Wide-Eyed. They've got some really, really neat books. This is The School of Art. It is written by Teal Triggs and illustrated by Daniel Frost. This has 40 simple lessons in it on how to teach art. And I don't know how much overlapping there's going to be between my Evan Moore book and this one, but I know that it is going to bring it about in a different way, and that way we can kind of use it as we want. If we end up looking at this one and we decide that we like this one better, we may start with this and kind of go from there. So each of these pages is kind of the introduction as to how art really works, forms, senses, shapes, things like that, the art of making. And then the lesson 1 actually starts back here. So we have term 1 where it's talking about all of this. We're going to learn about the basic elements of art. And then we have lesson 1. So it's just very simple. It's one page. Lines are made up of a number of points sitting next to each other, just like my string of pearls. So we can quite likely use both of these kind of together. So when we're on the section of line here, if we wanted to also use this the same day or the same week, we could come and just look at this different small activity that we have in the cloud on each page. I like the simplicity of this. There's not much. You're looking at one page, one activity. Really, really neat. I'll flip through this just so you can kind of get an idea of how it looks. It continues with this very simplistic lesson through the whole thing, which is exactly what I'm looking for second grade. This would actually have been a wonderful one to have as a resource for first grade too, just because of how simple it is, and it's very, very short lessons. I appreciate that, and I think that's perfect for what I'm going for our art lessons for second grade. Another thing that I picked up that I thought is just going to be really nice to just look through and read. This will be maybe a morning basket thing where it's not necessarily done as an art lesson, but this is DK Books, The Arts of Visual Encyclopedia. This is going to just be a wonderful way to be able to look at so many pieces of art. We have paintings, sculpture, photography, music, and dance. Each page has images as well as small sections about the artwork, which I think is just really, really lovely. And so we can kind of look at this as we're using our other two, if we're maybe learning about lines, and just kind of come in and see that we actually have lines that show up in all of our artwork. And we're also able to learn some things about artistic styles as far as different painting styles that we're going to see. And there's really, really nice images. You see that we have a full color image occasionally, as well as just the multiple pages. Then we come to the sculptures, which I think is really intriguing. I really, really like this book. I think it's a great addition for us. And again, it's DK Books, which I'm almost never disappointed with. I have seen a meme with this particular art piece before. Love it. Really, really, really nice. I like it a lot. Here is like the music section, so you're kind of being introduced to some instruments, some of the great artists that have been around and are still around. And then we also have dance back here in the back, which is represented in both artwork, and you're seeing the different types of dance and those dancers. Just really, really cool book. The last thing I picked up was Watercolor with Me in the Forest. Watercolor is something that I think is really fairly easy to kind of drag out. I'm not ready to jump into like acrylic paints or oil paints yet, but watercolors, I think that's totally doable for us right now. And so I picked up this really, really pretty book. I believe there's 2 of these now, and this is the first one, and it comes with 50 projects. It's on really nice watercolor paper too, which you would expect, but not always is the case. And you have wet on dry, wet on wet, painting fur, ink and wash. And we have this small introduction, and it's really, really nice. It shows you all the supplies that you'll need. And then it's just you start out trying it. So try to get the color and go from lightest, light, darker, darkest. And I just think this is going to be a really, really fun way to start learning how to watercolor. So here we have acorns, and that's going to be the first one. And we're using these colors. And then you have the little sketch over here, which I don't know if you can see that. I'll try to get it really closely because it is sketched very lightly so that it's not overtaking your paint. And so it gives you the instructions for how to paint this yourself. I may actually pick up 2 books of these so that she can do one and I can do one. I just think that would be really fun to do together. And so I'm going to probably pick up another one. I wanted to pick it up first just to see how the quality was, if I thought I would like it. And I do. I am very, very happy with this. I think it's going to be really, really fun to do. And again, I think it's going to be something that's super fun to do together. So here you can see towards the back, it is getting a little bit more difficult on maybe the items that you're going to be drawing. I'm not sure. But we have like a beaver here, a coyote, a rabbit. Really, really cute. So this is painting fur section. here's the wet on wet sections. And then in the very, very back, I will show you the ink and wash section. So you can see that we're adding a lot to the background here a little bit, and just really different ways to watercolor, and I just think it's really cool. So I'm excited about using this. I don't know if she'll be as excited as I am, but it just looks so pretty, and to be able to do the watercolors and maybe have it come out somewhat like that, really, really cool. So this is by Dana Fox, Watercolor with Me in the Forest. All right, so these are the book resources that I have for our art. Now, of course, we're gonna have colored pencils, paints, markers. We're gonna have like all the extras, watercolors for doing art. We're gonna continue to draw together, but this is some things that I wanna add in with first grade to actually get some lessons going about learning lines and shape and form and things like that. And then just being able to look at some beautiful artwork. I know that you can get online and just look, but I just would rather just open a book and look at it, and then we can go online and further research a piece if we like it. And then this book just looked so beautiful. I'm so happy I purchased that. But definitely check these out if you're interested in second grade art or even first grade art. I think if you have the time and the availability for adding that in, these resources would be definitely appropriate for that age. If this was helpful, give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in my next one. Bye, friends!